So this game has taken the shooting community by storm, shooter game community. People are saying that this is going to beat CoD, that this is beating Battlefield, that this is just better than all of them. So is XDefiant good? It's the Ubisoft shooter, Ubisoft's answer to arena shooters and so on. Let's see. Let's see what this is like, guys. Oops, sorry. Put up the sound.
Welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, skill-based matchmaking, SBMM for short.
SBMM, a hot topic in the shooter game community for sure. Some people love it because you're put against people that you are similar skill level of. Some people hate it because they can't crush noobs for no reason. Personally, I'm in the first camp. I think that you need to have skill-based matchmaking for any kind of ranked mode, at least for sure. But I know that is a rare thing in this. You hate skill-based matchmaking because you play bad players? Yeah, there you go. There you go. You prefer it? Yeah. I kind of like it.
Boom. That's the word of the day, and the hook that Ubisoft is using to try to bring some attention to the newest free-to-play FPS, XDefiant. It's a word that's become increasingly controversial in online multiplayer servers. A lot of people starting to turn on the entire concept, and this game is jumping into the discourse with both barrels. The developers threw down the gauntlet with...
It's completely free-to-play with massive amounts of microtransactions. I'm talking skins that are like $30 plus. Like, that's how expensive it is. It's crazy.
This statement where they said, in no uncertain terms, we, the developers, believe that no spum is paramount to fun and a varied game experience in the long term.
No skill-based matchmaking in our casual playlist. Oh, okay, so that's like normals. That's fine. So what they're doing is, I think they're doing it pretty smart. Casual play will not have skill-based matchmaking. Ranked play will. So this kind of is trying to, cater to both people. COD with Val pricing? Yeah, exactly.
And said that there would be no skill-based matchmaking in the casual playlist. If you've played
Keep in mind, this is Ubisoft.
Or at least have been paying attention to the community lately, this is a big deal. Skill-based matchmaking is when a game tries to match up players of a similar skill level, which doesn't sound that bad at first glance. It just sounds like a more even playing field, but it can also be a drag where every game's repetitive, and you can tell how it's going to be decided within the first 30 seconds. Without skill-based match.
Also, it's only like this for like the higher ELO. If you're bad at a game that has skill-based matchmaking, a lot of times everyone's really bad at the game with skill-based matchmaking. And, it's not too big of a deal. But when people are, like, really, really high up, or when people are, like, League of Legends players, and they're, like, because I'm a league player, I'm unfortunately a league player, and, if people are, like, Silver 2 and they're a Yasuo main or whatever, they'll think that the team is holding them back, so they'll tilt and rage and, give up. That's the kind of thing that you'll find in the shooter community often. That's why a lot of people have issues with skill-based matchmaking in the shooter community as well.
Matchmaking. XDefiant hopes to make matches that are more varied and fun for casual players. A fine idea, but unfortunately, the issues surrounding the game are more interesting than the game itself.
Let's see this.
Have you played Call of Duty?
Yep.
It's like that, with some pretty standard hero players thrown in. XDefiant is a free-to-play 6v6 or 4v4.
One of my favorite parts of this game, by the way, is that as this is Ubisoft, right? They basically put all of their characters from their other games, their other Ubisoft games, like The Division, Watch Dogs, all of their other games into this game. And a lot of people don't even play or like Ubisoft games anymore. So a lot of the community that I've seen play this game has no idea who the characters are that they're playing as. That cracks me up so much. I don't think maybe Sam is in this. I don't think Sam Fisher's in this. But yeah, like, I mean like random people from like The Division and stuff. Yeah, exactly. It was just so funny to see people, because I was watching some streams of this game earlier today, and I was like, yeah, let's see what people think. And dude, I remember seeing like very high view people, right? So they're like gamers for a long time. They're like established content creators and stuff. And they're picking characters. They're like, yeah, I have no idea who this is. And it's like a major character from like the Watch Dogs game. And it's like, dude, no one fucking played the Watch Dogs game. It just kind of like it kind of hit home a little bit. I was like, wow, holy shit. Oh no, they didn't even publish Prince of Persia. They straight up made some of the Prince of Persia games as well, Mithril. Yeah, exactly.
Team-based arena shooter.
Crazy.
And if you've ever played another game like this, then it's incredibly easy to jump into because
Right.
it's practically the same. You've got your standard selection of guns. There's 24, but everything but the baseline weapons are locked from the start. You can slide, mantle, crouch. There's aim down sights. Weapon mods unlock as you increase your weapon level. It's Call of Duty with a few Overwatch powers and game modes. It
Should I play this? I don't know if I want to play this. What do you guys think?
doesn't play as smoothly as your modern Call of Duty game.
So it's trying to compete with COD, but not actually play smoothly? I have to ask Ubisoft, what's the point at that point? Like, really, what is the point? Why would you release a product that is substandard in the gameplay compared to your direct competitor that you made the game to compete with? Like, dude, Valorant has many faults, but the gameplay is extremely smooth in Valorant.
But
What?
it's serviceable with the fast respawn times that keep you never really waiting around. The real waiting comes in the lobbies, at least for people who tried to get into the game the first day. The server situation on day one was an absolute disaster, almost as bad as Payday 3. Here's my experience trying to get into the game. I join a lobby, wait around for a minute, the game kicks me out, I try again.
Payday 3. Ooh, when Payday 3 launched, dude, the servers were on fire. It was so bad. That is very much a low bar. If he's comparing the servers to Payday 3, oh boy, that is rough.
And again, and again. Sometimes it kicked me out within seconds. Others, I had to stare at the screen for minutes before it would boot my ass back to the title screen.
Ooh.
But it went on like this for hours. Way too long. I mean, I'm just trying to get some first impressions for the latest games releasing here. Why you make it so hard, Ubisoft? Why you make it so hard? When I finally did manage to join a game, the matchmaking couldn't even fill out a full team, leading to ridiculously one-sided matches, and when the game was over in a few minutes, I'd get kicked out of the lobby and the whole process started over again.
Right.
This is how it was for most of the day. Eventually, the entire Ubisoft launcher went down for an hour or two, like the whole...
Remember what I said remember what I said earlier when I said being forced to connect to so many of these so-called game networks adds more points of contention where things can break? Wow. Who could have foreseen such a crazy turn of events, guys? What kind of prophet, what kind of absolute Nostradamus could have seen this happening? Who could have thunk it, guys? Who could have thunk it? Oh my god, man. Dude, these companies never learn, man. These companies never, ever, ever learn. They really don't.
Thing was really a mess. You'd think they'd have planned this out better for day one, but guess not.
Nope.
At least by the end of the day, it seemed like the matchmaking issue was finally resolved because I was able to get into games consistently after that.
Meltdown. I think this is like the actual game, right?
But the netcode, it remained spotty. You never really tell for certain in these games.
Well, the really good thing is in shooter games that are like, you know, they require like the very quick reflexes and everything. You don't need the game to be smooth, right, guys? Yeah, that's how it works.
Whether it's you or the game. But there's moments where it really felt like my
God.
shots were just not being registered at all.
Oh, good. No
instances
hit
of me
registration.
dying around
Excellent.
corners. Now, to be quite fair, it wasn't always like
Excellent.
that. For the most part, my experience playing the game, like when I was actually in a match, was pretty smooth. But the netcode, it is an issue. It's a thing people are complaining about in the beta, and it seems to not be fully fixed. I am aware that I'm talking about the skills-based matchmaking and server issues more than the actual game, but look at the game. It's Call of Duty. That's what it is.
Right.
It's not that it's bad, because it's not. It's actually pretty fun as an off-brand.
To be fair, it's Call of Duty. Call of Duty is bad. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to get hate for this. I don't care. COD has been on the decline for like a decade. it's a bad game. Comparing this with COD and saying that this game is less smooth and has issues compared to fucking Call of Duty, that's a bad line. That is a bad line.
And Call of Duty with a more reasonable file size and minus the Activision stink. But it does have the Ubisoft stink, so
only good thing is COD Zombies.
Stink.
Well, no, I mean, like, I grew up on like Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3, like the OGs, Liggy. Like back then, COD was pretty good, man. Like we had a lot of fun with COD back in the day. Well, I had a lot of fun with COD back in the day, and they had like some pretty good single player campaigns back then, and so on and so forth. Dude, everything that was good about COD has gone by the wayside recently. That's what I'm saying. Like in the past decade, like the microtransactions have gotten worse. Medal of Honor, no, I don't. I love Medal of Honor. Oh my god, dude. I played a lot of shooters back then. Like before I had the hand injury, I played a lot of shooters, dude. I loved shooters. Oh my god. And I mean, it's like one of the silver linings. Because of this hand injury, I've not really been disappointed by a lot of shooters because I just don't play many shooters anymore. I just see that they're shit, and I'm like, well, thank God I can't play this fucking thing, and it works out. Like, yeah, it's one of those like very, very weird issues where you've seen a massive decline in a genre of games over like an entire decade. And it makes me so sad because there's basically like a new Call of Duty game, like every year and a half. It's like a really, really quick cycle. They're always shoddily made. And the entire COD community gets so hype about it. They're like, bro, are we back? Is COD back? I hear this from COD players all the time. All the time. And I just, oh God, it feels so sad, man. I'm like, guys, you're not back. You will never be back. And the reason is you buy their games every year. And every year they're dog shit. Stop buying the dog shit games and they'll probably make the next one better. Like if a COD game ever truly just did not sell well, guess what? They would probably work harder in the next game. But if you still spend and buy Call of Duty the tune of like $300 million every time they release a new COD game, they're going to give you the same shit quality for every single COD game. COD players are like quintessential to opening up their ass, bending over, and taking it up by Activision over and over and over again every year, being like, bro, are we back? Are we back? Dude, COD bros are insane, man. COD bros are insane. Holy shit, man. I feel so bad for them. They are so used to it, man. They're so used to it. Holy shit. Holy shit. Ubisoft tried to do anything new in COD? Ubisoft doesn't do COD. It's Activision. Activision does COD. Mithril.
Is that good or bad? I don't know what I want to say about that. To give the game its own
anyway,
unique
I'm a little
flair,
rant.
There's currently 5 factions from various Ubisoft franchises. Right. You can
it's the Division. Yeah.
Play as the cleaners from the Division who have fire-based abilities. Phantoms from Ghost Recon. Okay.
Ghost
Recon. Echelon from
Oh, so we do have some Splinter Cell. We don't have Sam Fisher, but we do have Splinter Cell themed stuff.
Splinter Cell, Libertad from Far Cry 6, and DedSec from Watch Dogs. The last ones are locked out unless you pay up or complete the challenge to unlock them. And I will say that I do like the factions idea. Rather than having specific characters with abilities, the powers are split between these factions, so cleaners can deploy fire drones, have a passive that gives them fire ammo, phantoms can lay down shields and get bonus health to make them tankier, stuff like that. The powers are all mostly things you've seen in...
That's a pretty good iteration. Like, I actually don't mind the hero abilities. The problem is, if it doesn't play well, it just sucks. I do like hero-based shooters. Like, I do enjoy Valorant. I do enjoy, what's the other hero-based shooter? I mean, like, the theme of Overwatch and stuff. Like, you know, Marvel Rivals is another hero-based shooter that just came out. We covered that last night.
Older Call of Duties.
I think that adds
Overwatch.
nuance.
Like, there's not a whole lot of creativity here, and nothing really particularly stands out, except...
I mean, this is more creative than fucking COD. I don't know any COD character that does this shit.
For Echelon, who get the overpowered sonar ability that has a ridiculously short cooldown. If you want, you and everyone in your team can essentially wall
have
hack. the whole
wall
time.
hacks. Yeah,
I
exactly.
suspect there's a serious
Jesus
nerf
Christ.
incoming for the future for this one. Making the cooldown
The problem with like these, hero-based games is if balance isn't tight, it becomes really, really annoying, really, really, really fast.
way longer. I think that's really all you need. In general, I don't know if I consider these powers particularly balanced, though.
Right.
Some come off as nearly worthless, like the cleaners, well, everything. And the grenades in general are annoyingly awkward to use.
Dude, you just threw a drone directly in the wall, and it didn't fly over the wall or anything. It just crashed in the wall and died. And then he died afterwards.
Like the cleaners,
This
well,
is
everything.
so
and the
fucking
grenades
funny.
in general are annoyingly awkward to
Oh
use.
my
the
God.
phantoms in general also pretty annoying. They're heavies with deployable shields that recharge
Right.
quickly in a game with many maps containing
It's gonna make the time to kill them really, really slow.
obvious choke points they can exploit.
Right.
Personally, I actually did have a pretty fair amount of fun with the riot shields. Many players didn't really know how to respond to them, so you
Just
get
smack
easy
'em?
kills with them. But that doesn't speak to it being a
Oh
balanced
my
game
god, he just walked up to him with a shield and just smashed him. This is so stupid. Oh my god.
that works right. Like, it kind of feels like they're just throwing
This would be exactly how I play this game, by the way. I would go this and a shotgun the entire time. Anything close to me, I just smash and bash. That's it. That's it. This type, any kind of game like Rainbow Six Siege has a way to play this type of play style as well. Overwatch has, certain characters that can do this and so on. This is so stupid and so funny every time because people get so pissed at you. They're like, oh my god, no skill play, blah. Dude, it's so funny to make people mauled with this. Oh my god. It's so
abilities
funny.
in randomly to see what works. There's also ultras that you can pop if you get enough
Oh, you have
skills,
ultimates?
but
Okay.
Matches are generally so quick, you rarely see these powers show up, which honestly I think is a positive. Play Overwatch and you're seeing ultimates all the
Right,
time,
yeah.
and it gets
It's
kind
too
of
fast.
annoying there. A lot of these ultras don't seem that strong as is, so they're probably more of a novelty than a game changer, and I don't know how worthwhile
Yep,
that is.
exactly,
I
Mitchell.
like the factions. I think some of these characters
It didn't show the Sam Fisher guys, but like those guys had like some kind of stealth abilities as well, Mithril. I saw a little bit of gameplay of that.
have
Cloaking
pretty
and things.
cool designs, but they're missing so much of the identity of their franchises.
Right.
All the guns are just generic expected weapons. There's an M16, AK-47, and MP.
I wonder if he's going to talk about the monetization because one thing I saw was all of the skins were just really, really shitty recolors. And like, I don't know if Ubisoft doesn't realize this, but like, dude, no one's going to buy a blue M4A1 that looks like so starkly blue, it looks disgusting. It looks like someone just like dumped it into a vat of paint. That's exactly how bad it was. People buy, dude. I mean, some of these skins look really fucking bad. Like compared to Valorant skins. So like this is equally priced to Valorant skins, Mithril. And Valorant skins will have like a dragon that like eats your ammo and like growls at you and shit like that. It'll have like themed skins that are like made for e-boys and e-girls e-dating. Like they put a lot of detail where like you shoot someone, they burst down to a flower and things like that. Like I'm not interested in any of that shit, but at least it looks nice, right? None of the skins here looked worth it. And it was the same price. Now, you're right that people who play this game are Ubisoft shills a lot of times, so they're probably going to buy it for that reason. But man, the skins look bad, is all I'm saying. Like, the skins just generally look really, really bad.
For a completely worthless shotgun, which I like shotguns. That's like what I use.
Does the
in
shotguns
these games.
suck?
I don't care if they're a little
Aw,
underpowered in a
man.
game, but worthless like this, it pisses me off. But
That's
there's all the
sad.
usual equipment, and nothing really stands out. For a game
Yeah.
that's borrowing so much from the Black Ops games, they could have thrown in some wacky guns to give the game some personality. There's some goofy makeshift weapons in Far Cry 6, or the 3D printed guns in
Right.
Watch Dogs.
The
they
pipe
could have thrown in
guns.
the Gremlin from Ghost Recon, the SC-20K rifle from Splinter Cell. I mean, there's a lot of stuff specific to the franchises included in this game that could have been fun, even as skins. Like, even as skins.
I wonder how toxic the VoIP is in this game. Like, I'm like morbidly curious. I'm not going to play it on stream. If I play it, I'm going to play it off stream because holy shit, man. I've heard that. I've been in some of those COD lobbies, man. Jesus Christ, they're rough. I wonder how bad this game is for that.
But it's just a bunch of boring, obvious guns that appear in every other FPS game ever. If I can give the game one positive, though, it's
Okay.
the maps. They
The
really
maps.
remind me of Black Ops 2.
The maps do look interesting. Like I see a lot of verticality. I see a lot of choke points. I see a lot of like random windows and things to jump through. I see a lot of different theming. Like this was a jungle map. I saw like a synthwave map style feel. I saw like a desert map as well. I saw like a lot of different themes for maps. That's cool. I do like different maps. Map design is hugely important. I think map design is actually far more important than people think. So yeah, that is a positive that I can see already as well. I agree with this.
In a good way. They're big, colorful,
Yeah.
visually interesting. There's a good selection of
Yeah, entire bridge.
them. It takes a while before you start seeing the same map in rotation.
Right.
They're all pretty fun to play in, and they're fairly
This is
flat.
a fair,
overall.
yeah,
There are
this is a
few
fucking fair.
vertical maps, but only a few. I think for this type of gameplay, the flat maps work better, and they leaned into that rather than the other way around. Good choice.
I love
Most of the
wacky
maps
vertical ones.
Are taken in some way from one of the factions. So there's Division maps, there's Far Cry
Right,
maps,
right.
Watch Dogs maps, among others. But those are what stands out most to me. Like, there's a level set on the Noodle campus from Watch Dogs 2, which is a great setting for a multiplayer level. They're pretty well designed, too,
Okay.
and closely follow the Treyarch 3-lane map style, compared to how sloppy some of the maps got from Modern Warfare 1 and 2. The
Right.
new ones, I mean.
Yeah, not OG. Dude, OG Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, they had some real good maps, man. Ooh, man. I think like a lot of game makers of any kind of shooter needs to go back to all the way in those days. Yeah, Halo 1, 2, and 3 as well. Exactly, Mithril. Yep. I played all of those games back then. Absolutely. My first online shooter ever, Mithril, was Halo 2. And I was nationally ranked top 200 in Halo 2. I lived and breathed Halo 2. Holy shit. Yeah, terminal, airport, no Russian. Exactly.
This is a breath of fresh air. The actual game modes aren't anything new, but again, they work well enough.
Right.
There's no team deathmatch in the casual.
You know what's funny? A Dark Shade, and by funny I mean sad. All of, the new Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, they took all the good maps, and, anything that they changed, they basically just fucked up. Every single change they made to any map in Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 remakes all sucked. They were all negative changes. It was shocking. I was like, dude, how do you do this? How do you literally airball 3 different times in a row? This is crazy. Yeah, you can't improve upon perfection. Yeah, all they had to do was not change it. It's crazy.
Playlist, you're always playing some kind of objective game, either escorting a robot across the map or holding objectives in various configurations.
Okay, so they have the little like
with
carp move
everything in
thing.
XDefiant, it's not spectacular, but it works. It was all right. It wasn't great, but it was fine. That's
Okay.
pretty much XDefiant overall. It feels like a game.
Just fine is really bad for a shooter. Like, you don't want a shooter to be just fine. Dude, these arena shooters live and die so fast nowadays, man. They die so fast. People lose interest like really fast. And you know what? I think, considering what I've seen so far, I think this is just going to be a massive fail for Ubisoft. I think they're going to lose their ass on this game. I think they're going to lose so much money on this game. If he doesn't show any of the skins, I'll try to see if I can find like a chart with these skins.
I've already played 100 times before, which is not necessarily bad, but it's also so familiar it doesn't feel like there's much of an identity of its own other than the Ubisoft branding and the
Right.
promise of no matchmaking, which is, I mean, kind of insane because it's a Ubisoft All-Stars shooter, more or less.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did take the time to build around the factions a little bit more
Shooter Smash Bros, not Super Smash Bros. Shooter Smash Bros, essentially.
and lean into them, it could not only be good, but it would even familiarize people with more Ubisoft franchises.
Is what they were probably thinking that they would do, except for the fact that they made this game not really that good. And if you make this game and it's dog shit, it's just not going to do anything for your brand. It's not going to do anything to make people more interested in Ubisoft. It's not going to make people stick with Ubisoft Connect. It's not going to make people look into any of your other games that you're referencing here. even if they're good games, like the Sam Fisher games are so fucking good. Holy crap, man. It's kind of a travesty that they fucked this up. Like,
You
oh
could
my
just come
god.
in like knowing about one or not even knowing about any of them. Like done right, this is like a
Right.
brilliant advertisement for all of Ubisoft's games, but it's not quite there. Also, the no skills-based matchmaking stuff.
Yep.
I don't think it's really that incredible of a selling point.
There you
Like,
go.
It doesn't make this game an easygoing.
Skill-based matchmaking is one of those things that people love to rage about on the internet, but the typical player does not give a shit about. All they want is just fun games. So however you matchmake, if you do it in a way that makes the game fun, that's all the typical gamer gives a fuck about. But people on Twitter are going to be extremely, extremely vocal about. And they're generally wrong. Anyone who yells about this shit on Twitter, they're generally not correct. But it doesn't matter because the game usually caters to those folks, even if they're the minority, because they're so vocal.
Experience free of the annoying try-hard players of Call of Duty.
Yep.
Plenty of sweat lords here. There's
Oh,
just
yeah.
as many people sliding and bunny hopping and twitching around here as
There's no way this game will not have tryhards.
you'd see in any other arena shooter. The promise of no skills-based matchmaking doesn't seem to suddenly make this like a casual's paradise or anything. If
Right.
anything, the game is more difficult for super casual players because of the less aggressive auto-aim. I mean, personally,
Oh,
I
there you
think
go.
it's an improvement. The auto-aim in games like the Finals and COT are a little out
Yeah.
of control. If anyone knows me, I love my Finals, but if there's one criticism, it's probably that. And I think XDefiant is kind of responding.
The finals was actually super fun. I only played about, what is it, like 15 hours of it in early access and stuff, but it was actually a lot of fun. The finals had some sauce. It was like the OG Battlefield devs. Like I'm talking about Battlefield 1, 2, and 3. Like the good Battlefields. And they went over and created their own game called the Finals. And the Finals had like a really good, like, you know, silly type of gameplay. They had like extremely destructible environments. Everything was fast and fun and low key. Like, dude, the finals was cooking. The finals was actually cooking a lot. It was a lot of fun.
To the criticisms of those games, because on controller you really do have to aim if you want to hit something in this game.
Yeah.
At close range the auto aim's pretty sticky, but at medium and long ranges you're practically on your own. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a
I don't
little
mind
bit,
that.
but compared to these other games with really forgiving auto,
I'm one of those people that's like auto aim just doesn't belong in the game, period, personally. But like I can see both sides. I just never liked auto aim. Even when I was a console player, I just didn't give a shit. Yeah.
it feels like night and day, even if it's not necessarily you definitely being on your own. But the game runs well and feels smooth to play outside the netcode issues, which it should, because it doesn't.
Netcode issues though are huge, man. Like any kind of input lag or whatever in this type of game, man, this is brutal. Like people have been complaining about Tarkov's desync for years, and it's like like 10 ms desync or something, but it feels still strong even though it's like that small amount of desync, but it's like a palpable amount. Having like even worse than that, dude, that's rough deal, man. That is a rough deal.
Just play a lot like Black Ops 2. It looks a lot like it too. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, and I think the art style and general colorful aesthetic does make the game look pretty nice.
Okay,
at
so you have
times,
heal
but
over
this
time.
isn't a system.
I was looking at the health bar to see how they heal. So it's kind of like, you know, the Halo system where if you stand backwards for a bit, your health just immediately regens.
Melting visual tour de force. It's a free-to-play multiplayer shooter that
Wondering
Ubisoft
about
wants
that.
on as many devices as possible, so at least it runs well. But speaking of free-to-play, what are the microtransactions?
There we
look like?
go.
Well, honestly, they could be worse. Ubisoft promised
Could be worse as great. Dude, $70 for a bundle? $70 is the price of a AAA game.
the microtransactions were going to be cosmetic only, and I think that's mostly true, at least from what I've seen.
Okay.
There's also these stupid experience boosters that are in
Okay, if there's experience boosters, it's not completely non-pay to win. Experience does make a difference.
a lot of free-to-play games. So, I mean...
Yeah, quadruple
that's the
A.
one
Yeah, you're right,
ding
quadruple
on
A.
that, but, man, if you try to use one of these things when the game...
Dude, this is what I'm talking about. I saw this skin. It is literally just like the PKM, but it's dark blue and it looks like a fucking blueberry. And you're like, why would anyone buy this skin? Who gives a fuck about leveling this gun up now? Like, dude, the first skin looks better than this skin. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. So many of the skins are absolute dog shit. Yeah, Ubisoft fucked up with XDefiant so hard. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no buy-in to play, so that's like, you know, the accessibility. But if the skins look like shit, no one's gonna buy them, man. Especially since they're trying to compete directly with Valorant and, you know, other games of the type. Like I said, Valorant skins are expensive, but they're really gorgeous. They're gorgeous enough that people buy them. And they're exorbitantly priced, but they look really good.
Launch, you might as well have flushed it down the digital toilet.
Yeah.
There's a preseason battle pass, which, I mean, what else do I need to say about that? It's
Yeah,
your
great.
usual battle pass crap.
Good old
skins,
battle pass.
Emotes, other worthless
Good old
junk
FOMO.
you can grind for if you really want it. Most of the stuff you'd actually want, it's unlocked separately from the battle pass, including the DedSec faction, if you're willing to grind for it. For me, it's not the worst monetization I've ever seen. It's pretty standard.
I want to show the bright green guys. Who the fuck would pay money for this gun? Look at this. It's the M41A, but it's like, it looks like fuck. What kind of green does this look like for you guys? It in the game, I saw this skin. It was like, yeah, vomit green. Yeah, Shrek vomits green. Exactly. That's what it looks like. It was really bad.
It's pretty standard at this point. This doesn't make free-to-play monetization good or anything, but there's nothing really super egregious here. And at this point, you can play the game.
I just love seeing this guy walk up to people with his riot shield and just smack them with it until people die. This is so stupid. Why is this so strong?
Smoothly without spending any money.
Oh
So
my
XDefiant's
God,
not a bad alternative to Call
Yeah,
of
skins
Duty.
have layers.
You can
onions.
actually leave this thing installed in your system and it doesn't take up half your hard drive, which is an automatic plus.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it does enough to make itself stand out. Like, there's no real hook here.
Yeah.
No big standout game mode or interesting feature.
There's no hook. The monetization is not that great. The skills are not that great. Everything is just subpar. This game is going to be dead in like literally 3 weeks. That's my estimation. Maybe a month. Maybe a month if they're lucky.
That makes somebody stand up and take notice.
Yeah.
When the most exciting thing that people can say about this game is that there's no skill-based matchmaking, that's not really
nothing.
something that's going to grab
no
a
one gives a
casual
fuck.
audience. Like, do you think casual players are talking about matchmaking types? Not generally, no, they aren't. For the people who care about stuff like that, yeah, XDefiant's fun, but
Wilford
it's really
Brimley?
derivative.
Oh,
And I
that's a
don't
great
mean it in
name.
the PAL world way, where even though like you can tell where everything came from and why they included it, it doesn't do something that feels different.
Right.
PAL World did, despite being very derivative. And
Right.
there's a reason why everybody played it.
Derivative,
I don't really
but
see
unique.
that happening here. Also, Ubisoft is pretty famous for giving up on games, which you might hope that this game becomes a Rainbow Six Siege. That
I can't wait to see this. We will definitely cover the downfall of this game in like a month. I will absolutely cover the downfall of this game. Hey, I mean, if it succeeds, it succeeds. I will happily cover that too. But the chances are high this is just going to be an utter shit show that is abandoned by Ubisoft in like 2 months, who loves to cut and run. And when that happens, oh my God, we will absolutely cover that Ubisoft fucking L.
game kind of started
Holy
off with
shit.
a unique hook and went from there. XDefiant just doesn't. It's old school COD, and you can still play a lot of those games now, and there's still better ones than
Yep.
this. And also, for all the talk about no skills-based matchmaking, there is still skills-based matchmaking. The Welcome playlist has it, and I'm not mad about it or anything. It's just kind of
It's
funny.
still
'cause that's
there.
the whole thing they're selling this game on, and you get what I'm saying? It's one of those games where it's very, very middling.
Right.
And I feel like I don't have a lot of negative to say about it, but I am not excited to play more of it. That's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know.
I'm not excited to play more of it. What a stirring recommendation.
what you think. If you like this video,
Holy
click like. If
crap.
you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable
There you go.
notifications, and as always, we thank you very much.
This is a great video because the chances that I would play this game is like snowflakes in fucking hell. Let's read the comments a little bit. People are calling this the CoD Killer. I don't hear anyone talk about the effect the game will have on the likes of tuna, salmon, mackerel, and other aquatic gill-bearing vertebrate animals. Oh, that's such a good pun. Holy shit. I gotta give that a like and a heart. Oh my god. Unironically, goated comment. It was even pinned by Game Ranks. That is so good. That is so good. Holy shit. Before you buy, bro, it's free. That's true. The game servers were fixed in hours. Okay, so maybe the game servers are better. That's good to know. 2 seconds in, it looks like every other FPS online game I've seen in the last 11 years. True. True. Drop shot and bullshit. Sign me up. Okay. Someone's excited about the movement of the game. They need to make Ubisoft Smash Bros. Yeah, dude, they would fuck up that as well. I don't think you want that. Be careful what you wish for with Ubisoft. Game is fun. That's the most important thing. I'm sure it'll get better. This guy's a shit eater. Anyone who thinks a Ubisoft game will start off in a bad place and get better either has not been around Ubisoft games long enough, or they're just a shit eater that'll buy every single thing from Ubisoft. And they just can't be helped. They just haven't even eaten enough shit to dislike the taste of shit. You know what's funny? I'm looking through Ubisoft's release history. I can't find one title they developed that I actually loved. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft is at dude, I showed this off. Last time that I covered Ubisoft was like last week. And it was for the price of Assassin's Creed Shadows. We covered the entree to Ubisoft Shadows. Let me see if I can find that. Because that was a really good video. I think you'll like that. We covered their monetization and everything in gory detail about how they're going to ruin that game as well. Yeah, here it is. Why everyone is wrong about Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it's rough, man. It's rough. But I do love covering the bad news as well. I love covering the good news and the bad news. Gotcha. Welcome back, Aurora. Hope you're having a great night. Good to have you back, friend. But yeah, I have very little hopes for this game. Yeah, very little hopes for this game. We'll see how it goes. Let's see what the content creators think. Defiant cameos are too easy. People are already like really hardcoring this game. Let's see if there's anything interesting that catches the eye. Fucking Tim the Tat Man. Oh my god. CoD Killer is released. I actually like Jack Frags. I might watch that video later. Yeah, nothing great. Nothing really stirring or anything like that. XDefiant is going to prove how stupid people are. I bet you this... Yeah, trash game. People are going to spend money on this trash game, yeah. Holy crap, man. Yep. That looks about right. You're in the XDefiant Discord and people are just ripping it apart. Oh my god. I won't even join their Discord. Yeah, it's good to know. Monetization in XDefiant. I was just hoping there was going to be like some pictures of some of the skins. Doesn't look like it. Does not look at it. You got an XDefiant Twitch reward? Yeah. I put myself into the XDefiant category, Darkshade, because I was talking directly about it. That's why. Usually when I talk about a specific game, I put myself in that grouping. So maybe someone who's interested in the discussion will hop on in. Yeah. It's just hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can get your free XDefiant drop right here, guys. Oh my god. Drops are hilariously enabled. Holy shit, man. Are we back, boys? Are we back? Is COD back? Is this the COD Killer? Oh my god, man. Oh my god.